Here's something we haven't heard in a while. NASCAR has a parity issue, and that's a great thing. This video is all about everything we've learned from the first 3 races of the season and why William Byron is a championship contender. What's up everyone, I'm Cavanna. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you are not a subscriber, please consider clicking on that button. If you are a subscriber, first of all, thank you. And you also know I haven't posted a video in a few days. I'm still trying to figure this channel out. The frequency, the subject matter, when to do things, how to do things. If you want to leave me some comments, any critiques, any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Like most of you, I spent the weekend watching all the action down in Homestead. And on Sunday, I'm assuming like most of you, I was quite surprised. Asking questions like, who? Is where? He's leading? I'm talking about Chris Buescher. Yes, I know he has a Cup Series victory on his resume, a former Xfinity Series champion. But if we're being honest, we are not used to seeing him leading at a 1.5 mile track while driving for Roush Fenway Racing. And what he was doing Sunday, it was not by accident. This was not pit strategy. This was not tire strategy. He drove to the front with his equipment and took the lead. He led 57 laps. He was the story for the first half of the race. Now, Buescher didn't get the finish that was indicative of how he was running throughout the day, but the top 10 still had a bunch of names we weren't used to seeing. Tyler Reddick was second. Michael McDowell finished 6th. Ryan Newman finished 7th. Even the winner, William Byron, was a bit of a surprise, only because we haven't seen him run like that on a 1.5 mile racetrack. And I'll tell you what, they're already thinking championship over on the 24 team. You'll hear from them a little later on in this video. But after the race, the big story really was, where did all these teams come from, this parity? Here's Martin Truex Jr.
You know, everybody's had all off season to, kind of work on their stuff and understand where they were last year. And a lot of people obviously made some good decisions on how to get better. So, definitely seen a lot of guys running up front today that we don't see. But I think it's just, the box that we work in is so small, and the longer we have the same rules package, the closer everybody's going to get.
2 things happening here. First, this is the last year for these cars and this rule package. Because of that, in part, NASCAR put a halt to any new development on new parts. That means the biggest advantages the big teams had, namely money, people, and technology, those advantages aren't as big as they used to be. It means smaller teams can close that gap a little bit on the advantage the big teams once had. Michael McDowell finished 6th at an intermediate track on Sunday. Again, not by accident. That, to me, is more impressive than him winning the Daytona 500.
I think one of the biggest things for us is there hasn't been a tremendous amount of development, right? Not new chassis, new parts, new pieces. Like, we used to fall so far behind that now I feel like we were able to build on what we've had in the past and make our cars a little bit better each time we come to the racetrack without changing all the fundamental pieces and kind of starting over and having to re-engineer everything. So it's kind of simplified the process for us a little bit, just to keep building on what we have and keep trying to make it better. But the fact that we're legitimately running in the top 10, not just here, but at the road course last week too, we overcame a lot of issues last week and really raced our way back into the top 10. And, to start the season with 3 top 10s on 3 very different racetracks, Daytona, like I said, everybody knows that anything can happen there. But, I'm very, proud of my race team.
The conversation even carried over to Twitter after the race. I had this conversation with crew chief Chris Gabehart. He said, big no-brainer. Consistent rules equal tighter fields, not necessarily more rules. Does that make your job more fun? I asked him. It's all fun, he said. It's always different. But inevitably, if you give everyone more time to optimize, eventually everyone gets optimized and the margins shrink. Look, are the small teams going to win every week? No. Are we going to continue to see this parity? That's unclear. A track like Vegas is way different than a track like Homestead or Atlanta. But we do know parity brings new players into the game, new stories to tell, and that's a great thing for us. Now, let's get to the winner of the race, young Willie B. William Byron got his 2nd career victory, his 1st for crew chief Rudy Fugle. Again, this was no fluke. Byron went up there, led more than 100 laps. His restart to retake the lead, it was stellar. Sunday established the 24 team as a new player each Sunday for race wins. But the team itself is thinking championship.
We want to learn how to be a winning race team You know, in the playoffs, to win a championship, you have to win a lot of races. So we have to learn how to do that now and get used to that, to be able to contend for a championship. You know, so we're not a championship team yet, but over the next 20 some weeks, we're going to become one. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, he said it.
That's got to be a great feeling if you're a young driver like William Byron. So what do you think? 3 races into the season, some great storylines already to tell. Let's hope they keep it up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.